Okay, it's me again. This is my fourth video. It should have been up by now. At any case, I got really, oops, got really tied up, and so I had to pause between there. So, starting off from my last video, as I stated, I ended up partnering up with someone, and we tried to get some things together, but then a storm came and that put some things behind because the grand opening for our partnership, because I don't really want to go into it because I think that would give away too much, so I'm going to keep it simple. Any case, we were supposed to start and grand open be that Monday, and I think the storm hit like that Tuesday or Wednesday, the last storm, and Isaac, I think. And that put things behind that I was trying to get ready for and do. Then my Mac had broke down and all the information I had on there, and I had posted this, and you know, congratulations you guys when I do my posts. I know I do so many types of posts, but you guys know when I do certain type of posts when I'm going through something, and the comments and everything that was just so supportive. But yeah, you know, in 2 days my iPhone went down, my Mac went down. I was having problems with my page. The studio cell phone that I had, I lost that, so I weren't able to check any of the messages because that was the number that was on the flyer that I had, you know, gotten done. And it was just a mess. It was a mess. And when I tell you all this was happening in 2 days, just mentally and emotionally, it was just. But then that week when I just thought all was lost, I still kept strong. If I get one person or two, hey, we're still gonna do it. And the people I was in partnership with at the time were very supportive also, and was encouraging me and so forth. At any rate, it became even more emotional for me because that weekend, to make a long story short and not go so much into it, I had met my brother, who I had never met before in my life. I knew 15, 20 some years ago he was looking for me, but I was in another time and in another place in my life, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, so I'll just leave it at that, and never connected or anything. Well, I was on Facebook networking, with churches. And so I was speaking with someone about maybe starting up the praise exercise at a church. And we talked a little bit and so forth and set up a date and time to meet. And so trying to figure out how I can break it down and keep it simple. I ended up meeting my brother. Well, I saw a flyer of my dad who wanted me to meet my brother, and that's another story with my dad. But anyway, he showed me a flyer of my brother first, and I was like, wait a minute, I network with that lady on there. And he was like, that's your brother's wife. And I remember I was Facebook friends with her, so I would always, click on her pictures and say little things, never knowing that that was my brother's wife and the guy was my brother. And so we met, and I think I did a posting of that too. It was just like, y'all had followed me along, and it was like, hey, Cherry, oh, you got a brother, So, mind you, things didn't go so right, as I stated, with the church that I grew up in for 20 some years, and the business part of what I wanted to do. So also, I felt like I wanted to remove myself from the church also. So I was homeless as far as spiritually with a church, not with God, of course, always with me. But I didn't have a church home and a family. And I just really believe in that. Everybody has their opinions about that. You don't have to be a part of a church family. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to this and you don't have to do that. You know, I like to stick to what the word says to do, and as far as being obedient, because if I start pulling out what I want to do versus what I'm supposed to do, to thy own self be true, what I want to do will overwhelm, you know. So I try to stay obedient. And then, you know, I love being in the church and working in the church. And I've always said that that's where I wanted my foundation to be, where I can do everything in the church. I can make my living. I can do my service work. I could give back. You know, everything just was the church with me. Didn't work out that way. So I didn't have a church home, and that was very hard on me. It was very hard on my marriage also, because my husband was still going, and, you know, always asking me to go, and I was very angry, and I was very hurt, and I didn't want to fake it. I needed some time. It was almost like getting out of a relationship, because I had been there almost all my life, since I used to go with my grandmother when I was, I think, 13, 14 years old. So that was very hard. And then having to start over. You know, I don't just jump into a church and just give my all like that. I have to get to know you and how you do things, and get to know how you teach and what you teach and so forth. So that went on for about 3-4 months, and getting back to, I met my brother, so I was all happy, you know, because my brother had a church, and he was a bishop. He was a man of God, and I just thought that was beautiful. You know, I'm a woman of God, and my mission is the church, and you got a church, and your mission is the church. So we met and everything, and I became a part of his family, and I was just so excited on cloud nine with that, you guys. Not just so much being back in church, but I had a brother now. And wow. And, you know, so, but I think I jumped into a lot of things real fast without really praying about it and thinking through some things, and that's pretty much all I want to say about that. I don't think I would have jumped as fast and as deep in it as I did if it wasn't my brother. But because it was my brother, I felt comfortable with just diving in like that and doing what I was doing. So I had met my brother, and that Monday, the storm came on a Tuesday, went through everything. I was supposed to have the grand opening that Monday. I just decided it wasn't going to work out, and I called my partners and I said I wanted to pull out of it, and they were how they were about it, and that wasn't pretty either. I think the most hurtful feeling for me was what I went through with that, because there's some legal things that happened with that I don't want to get into, but that was very hurtful that could be done to me, especially the way I loved my business and what I was trying to do, and I had always been honest with everybody going into where I was at and what I wanted, and for the things to go down legally and with our friendship the way it did. But again, that was a learning experience, you guys. This whole thing, wow. And let me tell you, all this in 1 year. So where I'm at right now with worship and dance, I'm going to go ahead and, well, again, I jumped into a lot of things because I loved it so much, and my passion for it was so much, and I just wanted it. I mean, I just wanted, I didn't even really care about the business part of it. I just wanted to do it. But trying to make it a business, I had to learn about and find out about a lot of things. And then, mind you guys, too, I was doing this all by myself. I was trying to find a business partner or an assistant or a young lady that we can go into it with, and we had the same passion. Beginning of the year, I forgot to tell you guys, I did get an assistant, and again, I just thought I can get someone to do this and that to help me, which they were doing, but you got to have a passion for it. You have to love the Lord, you have to love children, you have to love dance, and because it's one of the things it's 24/7, and it's your life, and it just didn't work out. That person wasn't into it like I was. And with me, something happened on Facebook with my assistant, and I had to let it go. It, you guys know me. I paraphrase and a lot on my pages about stuff. I don't use names and stuff. And like as I stated, only people be knowing who I'm talking about concerning a post is them, and nobody knows unless they comment or something about it. But this particular young lady had used my name, and that's how I got into where I want to go with all the blocking and deleting and stuff, because I don't go back and forth on Facebook. And even when I'm feeling myself doing that, it's like I'd rather just go ahead and block you and let you go. We all have bad days. If I blocked everybody that did a crazy post that I didn't agree with, I wouldn't have any friends. We all have bad days. I've had some bad days on my posts, and I wouldn't want somebody, unless you understand the situation. But it's one of them things that I don't like about Facebook, that people respond and react to a comment and they don't even know what's going on, and then you're like feeding the post, especially if it's a negative post. I have my page set up with Facebook Business where I watch my post numbers when I get something. Now, mind you, I don't know who they are. I don't watch who view my page. My page is open, and I have it open because it's a business, and sometimes people want to get to know who I am and get to know what my business does, and I put it all there for them. So it's open. It's like a store that's open. You go in and you look around and you view, and I think that's the beauty of Facebook. So it's open, and I used to screen my friends and people I get to be my friends, but I let them in. Now I've gotten people that have come in and tried to get on my page and post naked pictures and do this. So my page is a little bit more regulated now, where there's certain things that people can't do unless I approve it. But like I said, you learn with Facebook, it's really not regulated or anything, and people pretty much do what they want. But if I see someone or something getting online, I just delete it. I'm not on having a bunch of numbers and friends with people I don't really know. I would like to think the people who come to my page are the ones that are about what I'm about, and so forth. So as I stated, what I'm doing now is the Holly Dance. Let me go ahead and say with the Holly Dance, I connected with a young lady and we got together. I saw her passion for dance like mine, because everything that she had on her page and when we got together was similar to what I was trying to do, and so forth. And I just thought, perfect, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But she was very young. She was like 20 years younger than me. And I think she jumped into things like I jumped into things without thinking about them. And some stuff had already been done, so she's no longer with it. I respect her decision. I think it's a wonderful decision, and I totally, if anybody understands it, I understand it, because, people may say things about me. I have jumped out of things that I didn't feel comfortable with or right about. And most of the things I jumped out of, it was almost, again, impossible to stay. When my spirit is not in it anymore and I don't love it, and I feel like if I stay it will be more harm than good for what the glory of God and that we're doing for it, then I'll just remove myself from it. So it's really no hard feelings there or anything. And plus, the time that we spent together, I learned a lot, and I hope she's learned a lot. But some things were done as far as preparing for the promotion dance that still stands still. So we're going on, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. I have some plans for the new year that I'm trying to get on board for. But basically, I think I'm gonna stay in the direction of going back to doing some volunteering. I'm not gonna post right now and talk about what I'm going to be doing, but I'm already networking and talking to some people. So I think that just makes it a lot more easier. And as far as my business from my home, I think I'm going to keep it small so I can do that one-on-one that I really want to do. Maybe during the school time, keep it about 5. And if it grows and more, but I think I'm going to do less on Facebook. I'm slowly, I don't want to say I'm going to let it go, but so much has been going on with it. I've cleaned up my page, but still, I haven't got rid of everybody. And so, you know, it's just, it's a lot of foolishness with Facebook. It wasn't like when I first started and I was doing things and I had a few friends and everybody was encouraging me and da-da-da. And now that I have more friends and I don't, and you know, I'm going to go ahead and be personal. I think it's really, really sad because Facebook is more of a business page with people. And I've really tried to support my culture, my race, my people, male, female, whatever background of business you're in, especially with what I'm trying to do. I've really tried to support you and work with you. I don't like hooking up. I don't like when you say you can do something and you can't. I don't like when you portray that you can offer something that you can't. And I don't like foolishness with it when it's time to get it done and do it. I'm not hard to work with, but do I expect certain things? Yes. Am I very lenient and workable? Yes. And so when it don't go right, I just don't have, you know, because y'all know, the ones who know me, I talk long, I talk a lot, and I think I'm very into detail. But another reason why I think God has me where I am and back in my home, because I have more creativity here. I don't have naysayers and people watching my back and over what I'm trying to do when I'm doing that out of my home. And also another thing I want to bring up, when, you know, on Facebook, there are some people that everybody uses and they're friends with everybody. But I think where I'm going to start going more outside, and it doesn't always mean to the white man, but when I'm going to start going more outside, because I've noticed when I do things on Facebook and that social media, things have a tendency to get leaked and put out. And I just think if you're a business and you're a company, regardless if you're on Facebook, be professional. If you're doing a flyer or you're doing some work for someone, and y'all, this has nothing to do with anybody I've worked in the past, anybody I've worked with now. Like I said, I don't mention names, and I've worked with a lot of people, so don't try to figure out, don't miss the mark of why I'm doing this and what I'm trying to get across. Not to be messy or anything, but to let someone else see what I've gone through, because they may go through it too and learn something from me. As what I used to do is search people videos that were doing what I was doing, and I would see videos from years ago, and I would just sit at home and really read them and study them and try to understand what they were trying to get across, so I didn't have to make those same mistakes. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. But it's unprofessional, and it's really rude when it becomes a click thing and people try to get close to you and try to, you know, I've had people that have signed their children up just to come in my home and find out what I'm doing, and they didn't have any regards to filling out paperwork or coming to class on time, you know, dressed out appropriately. If I scheduled a dance or something, making sure that child was there. And to me, why are you wasting my time and that child's time? You know, what you were getting here is the same thing that you was getting paying some dance companies were like $130 a month, $85 a week. And what I was trying to do it on the level where, you know, kids every day that I see could afford it and be introduced to it to go on to higher levels and do more things. You know, we all have our purpose here. And like I said, the harvest is full. But again, as I was saying with the click on Facebook, you don't, you know, you're friends with everybody and you're in it to make money. You're in it because you have a business. And when you start losing clients because you don't know how to keep quiet, or you're letting somebody else's business word get out there to their competitors because you can't keep quiet, it just becomes unprofessional. And now your rival or your competitors know what you're doing or what you're trying to do because they have leaked it. Some people may look at it as not that serious and it's not that big, but it really is, because I've learned, you know, even with liturgical dancing and being about God's business, it could be shady. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So the end result is what's for me is for me. I don't turn the passion of what I do into competition. It's not about who has more and who has what. What I do and my style is for me. What somebody else does, their style is for them. They're anointed with that. And, you know, as long as God is getting the glory and we're helping children, and as far as what we do, it really shouldn't matter. And I think that we should be strong enough as spiritual Christians to not let the enemy get in, because I've been guilty too of allowing the enemy to get in, especially when God has something really big that he's trying to do with me or with anyone else. And so you have to stay prayed up. Don't get on such a cloud and take it for granted, because trust me, I know and I've learned. Again, I thank everybody for being with me through this journey. It has been a year. I don't look at anything as a failure. Those that I've left behind, I thank you. I believe that God had put you in my life for a reason and a purpose. And in any situation, I try to find the positive out of it, the good out of it. Because focusing on the negative, it doesn't do any good. It doesn't. I try to take the positive out of every situation. And even the positive, and it's positive in any situation, because even if the positive is, don't do that again. Well, then you've learned. Thanks to all that have gone with my journey with me, with posting with Cody. You know, some of y'all have asked, you know, keep posting Cody. My husband really doesn't like Facebook. He's not a Facebook guru, but he does go on and post some things time to time. So thank you guys who have been with me through that. It's such a wonderful story and a testimony, and you guys all know that, so I won't get into that. But yes, I do love my husband. He is the man from God sent. He is so supportive and so loving, and I am so very, very blessed. And that's why I don't mind posting and telling y'all about it. I truly am. Because at the end of the day, I have Ron and I have my boys. And today I have a relationship with God. And it doesn't get any better than that. And if he can bring me through what I've been through, y'all, to get to where I'm at now, because some of y'all don't know my story, he can get me through whatever destination I'm trying to go in. It hasn't been easy, and nobody said it was going to be easy, but I think I've done pretty good to say that I've been doing this for a year, and right here, these little computers in my home and Facebook, you know, it's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm very happy and proud of myself, and I'm proud of the girls and young girls and even mothers that I've touched. My ministry, you know, everybody ministry is not a big arena. My ministry may be the little girls in the neighborhood, my little girls across the street. Well, they're not little now. They're like 16, 17 years old. Sometimes when I see them and I walk out the house, you know, they're blowing up. It must be in the milk, in the food with y'all. I don't know. But they're growing up. And that's what it's about. If I've touched them in some type of way to make a difference in their lives. Because as I stated, I don't just put on music and teach dance. I get with their minds and their bodies and their spirit. And let me tell you, our young kids, they're hurting. They are hurting. And I remember that hurt growing up, but it's a different type of hurt because we're in a different age. But just playing our roles and doing our parts. So this video is longer, it's 30 minutes. That's my journey. I said that I also was going to move from Facebook and go to MySpace, or you know, they got like 12 other social medias out there. I really don't know what I'm going to do with my Facebook. I don't like to make a harsh decision because at one time I said I was going to deactivate it, but y'all, I kid you not, and I'm not boasting, and please don't let the spirit tell you that I am. But when I walked into the library one day and I saw somebody having my page up looking at it, I didn't say anything to them, but I was just like a celebrity would do, you know, like, wow, because it does mean something to me that just little old me, what I'm trying to do here, and somebody cares enough about it to go to the library and pull me up and see what I'm up to. That it means a lot. It really does. And it you know, that really touched me that day. And it's the little things I do when people don't hear from me. I get inboxed or called, how you doing? What's going on? You know. So with that being said, wish me luck for the year. Oh, how could I forget? I am running a essay on Facebook about your daughters to send in a video, 5 minutes or less, why they love to praise dance. Be creative. I'm sorry, y'all, my phone rang and I don't know what just happened. It just paused. But anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap it up because Cody will keep calling me.